numbers were saying he would get somewhere in the 30% range, and I think it was well above that. So obviously people came out, not only, turnout was low, but he still did get a sweeping victory last night. Any concern about that, or how much support he's drummed up?
I'm not a pundit. I probably wouldn't be a good answer to your question. What I can tell you is what I'm focused on, which is talking with everyone in this district. I don't believe that anyone should just focus on one type of voter, just focus on Democrats or Republicans. This is going to be a campaign for everyone. This is a campaign that I hope everyone, Democrat, Republican, or independent, will be able to get involved with and believe in, because I think that we need someone who serves everyone in Congress.
Right here.
Just a couple questions. Based on all the questions we've asked you, do you have any plans to hold a press conference in front of Dan Bishop's office next time? Ask more questions on his way.
I can give you a no on that one.
But not the Senate. We're not whether or not you'll run for Senate. Because that issue would drop if you would just say, no, I'm not going to run for Senate in 2020.
I think we were clear on that. Next.
No, I don't think you were, with all due
Running for
respect.
Congress.
Yeah, I'm running for Congress in
I
this
know, but
race.
what about
I'm not
Senate in
giving
2020?
I am not interested in that. I'm not thinking about that. I'm focused on this race right here, and that's not going to change. We got 119 days. This is going to be a tough campaign. This is going to be a very close race like last time. A Democrat hasn't held this seat since 1963. I think we showed last time that this is a race. People are really ready to put country over party. That's 100% where I'm focused.
Yep.
A couple more follow-ups.
Yeah.
After the last election, Harris was leading by roughly 900 votes. Obviously, it's an unprecedented circumstance. How do you view yourself after that election? Loser, winner, tired? I mean, how do you kind of characterize how you came out of that and what your position was?
I think I've shared with some of you the story of those several weeks for my wife Laura and me. We thought we'd lost. We left it all on the field. We went off to Disney World, which turns out is a terrible place to go if you have 4 kids and you're trying to relax after a long campaign. We never would have expected to run into the kind of cheating that we did. And I really faced a choice at that time. It would have been easy to just go back to normal life and go back to the kids and business. I worried, though, that if we did that, all this fraud would have got swept under the rug one more time. This kind of stuff had happened for a long time.
In Bladen County, I'm sorry, were you still going?
Well, I was just going to say, I chose to fight at that time because I felt it was the right thing to do. Look, it would have been easy running such a long campaign to throw in the towel. I learned in the Marine Corps, you don't take on a fight because it's easy. You take on the fight because it's the right thing to do. And we deserve a whole heck of a lot better than what we've been getting out of Washington, and that's why I'm still in this race.
Historically in Bladen County, there have been those kinds of cheating allegations, both Democrats and Republicans. What's your message about, whether, and pretty clear, but what would you say to people who think that they could still pull off these kind of shenanigans, Democrat or Republican?
Boy, well, I certainly hope that after the light that's been shown on this fraud, all the media attention, the work that people in this room did to expose the election fraud perpetrated by my opponent's campaign, I certainly hope that won't happen again. And I have to think that, at least we haven't gotten to the end of this long campaign, but I hope that one of the good things we've already accomplished is putting an end to that fraud in eastern North Carolina.
All right, one more. Joe, last one.
Okay. Do you think that there's a crisis at the border? And if so, what should be done about it? And do you have an endorsement for 2020 president?
Compound question.
Just like a little Rubik's Cube there. What's happening at the border is very serious. My position on the border has been the same since we started this campaign. It's absolutely important that we secure the border. It's also important that we uphold American values at the border. That's one of the reasons why I've advocated for a bipartisan and a comprehensive immigration reform, because there's probably no example in Washington. Well, there's a lot of broken things in Washington. One of them is immigration, and we're just not going to fix it until we have people up there who are actually willing to sit down, reach across the aisle, and compromise. But you can't, deal with something like immigration on a one-off, one thing over here, one thing over there. You really got to do it in a comprehensive manner. We have to secure our border. We also have to do an immigration reform that upholds our American values.
2020?
This is another one I really just am completely focused on this race. I'm not don't have the bandwidth or the interest right now to think much about Democratic presidential primaries.
But, so you would have to think about 2020, I would assume, though, Dan, because you'll only be, assuming you win in September, you're not going to serve that long before you have to turn around and then run again.
This
So
actually is one thing you're not allowed to ask about because mentally, I'm good through September 10th, but let's focus on getting this race done first, and then if I have the honor of serving, it'll be another tough reelect in only I think 14 months, but that's a little too much to think about right now.
So you are thinking reelect 9th district.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be clear, I think a lot of people think that this is going to somehow be an easy race for us because of all the fraud and the cheating on the other side. They could not be further from the truth. And this is going to be a very hard-fought campaign. It's been 56 years since a Democrat has held this seat. I'm trying to make the case to everyone that I will be someone to put country over party and represent everyone in this district. Not going to stop doing that for the next 119 days until we get to September 10th. If I have the honor of serving, then it'll be time to think about reelect.
We're going to go to Jim, and then this is the last question.
Sorry. You said that you've been doing this a long time, and you have. What did you learn from the previous 2 years? What did you do wrong last time? What are you changing this time?
That's a good question. The thing that I mentioned earlier, this campaign started for me really as a calling to serve our country. But the reason I'm still doing this is because of the people that I've met on the campaign trail. I can't tell you the number of stories of people who are struggling. I just met someone the other day in Anson County who told me she's on her first year in Medicare. She got stuck in the donut hole. She has type 2 diabetes. The cost of her medication ate up all of her income, all the cash from her Social Security checks, and she was left with less than $1,000 to live on for the year. As we talked further, she shared with me that she hadn't taken her medication for her type 2 diabetes since last October. This isn't like the only time I've heard a story like this. Like, these are daily occurrences, daily stories as I talk with so many voters. And that's really what keeps me in this race, and why I feel so strongly about doing everything we can to talk with as many people as we can. That's why we're opening offices up in every county. And I want people to know all across this district how much I care about fighting for them.
Excellent. Thank you guys for coming today. We'll do more of these.